Hello everyone, it is me, reobebo here. Today I'll be going over my RPG collection for the Wii. Now, unfortunately this video will be kind of awkward, not only in the fact that I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last video, but also in the fact that I actually only have 3 RPGs for the Wii. Now of course there are way more than just 3 RPGs for the Wii, and it really just shows how much I really haven't been catching up with the console lately. But still, I think these 3 RPGs are very unique and very fun. So with that out of the way, let's get into my Wii RPG collection. And the first game I really want to show you guys is the awesome Super Paper Mario. Now, Super Paper Mario is actually the black sheep in the Paper Mario series because while the previous games were actually just turn-based RPGs with platforming elements, this game is actually a platformer with RPG elements, and trust me, it really does make a huge difference in this game. This means that you won't be fighting your enemies turn by turn, but instead you'll actually be fighting them in real time, sort of like your average Mario platformer. But not only that, you actually have to hit your enemies multiple times in order to defeat them instead of just once like a normal Mario platformer. And while this may turn off some people, I still do believe that the combat's really fun, despite the fact that it's not nearly as polished as compared to the other entries in the series. You also gain the ability to change from a 2D to 3D perspective, and while that may not sound like much, it really does add a lot to the game by adding some really creative puzzles, and I'm really glad that Nintendo added this feature because it really does help the game out. And of course, the game has that same great wit and charm that was in the previous entries of the series. And the story of this game is actually really good. There's this heartwarming subplot in the game that I don't want to spoil, but I was just really surprised about, and it really got me emotional. I mean, not to tears, but it was just really well done for a Mario game in general. I mean, it's one of the best stories I've ever heard in a Mario game, let alone in a Nintendo game in general. Overall, while I don't think that Super Paper Mario is as good as the first game or Thousand Year Door, I think it is still a very good experience on the Wii. It still has that same great wit and charm, and despite the fact that the game is technically a black sheep in the family, I still think the gameplay was really solid as well. Even though it wasn't as good as the previous games, I still think it was very well done. Again, a very high quality game made by Nintendo that I highly recommend any Wii owner to check out. Now, the next game in my Wii RPG collection is the awesome Xenoblade Chronicles. And Xenoblade Chronicles was mentioned before on my channel, but I really don't mind mentioning it again because this game just has so much to it. And not only that, almost all the stuff it does is just very well done. The game's world is just huge with a ton of beautiful locales. The soundtrack in this game is fantastic and it really does fit the mood of the world. Not only that, the combat is just a whole ton of fun with a lot of strategy mixed in with very fast-paced action. And to top it all off, the game still has a very solid story, as well as some very good character development, considering the fact that the world is just absolutely humongous and the game puts in a ton of quests, as well as the main quest being very long, with a 50+ hour adventure. And it's a huge shame that companies like GameStop are trying to sort of nickel and dime each of their customers by opening up new copies of the game, selling them as used, and bumping up the price tag to $90. And unfortunately, online retailers are doing the same as well. I just think this is really bad for many people who really want to experience this gem of a game, but unfortunately, no one really wants to cough up $90 for just one game. And I feel really bad for these customers. They really want to try this game out, but unfortunately, they probably never will. But I will say, if you do find this game on the cheap or around $50, I highly recommend buying Xenoblade Chronicles. It is well worth the money. Now last, but of course not least, is the last story. See what I did there? Last, but not least, last story. But in all seriousness, I will say that the last story is probably my favorite RPG on the Wii. And I know my opinion's not really the popular opinion, but I can't really say why I like this game more than the others in a specific manner. But what I can say is that this game gave me that Final Fantasy feeling that I felt was missing for many years, and I just had a blast with this game. Even though this game felt like a Final Fantasy game for me, it does not necessarily play like a Final Fantasy game. And it kind of plays more like a dungeon crawler, to be honest, because you sort of have this hub town called Lazulus, and then you just go around, shop for new weapons and items, and then you really go to these sort of linear levels later on. And if I were to describe the combat of the game, it would probably be a combination between Metal Gear Solid, Gears of War, and Kingdom Hearts. And I know this sounds like a very interesting combination, but it really does work out for the most part, and it really does bring in something unique. Despite the fact that the game does lack polish in certain areas of the combat. But another thing I really enjoyed about the game was the fact that everything in the game's world is so detailed and so beautiful. And I gotta say, this was developed by Mistwalker, which includes the creator of Final Fantasy as well as the composer of Final Fantasy, so it's really no surprise that this game gave me that feeling, but the game just has that superb detail that the Final Fantasy series used to have, and I just absolutely love that in this game. This game also has a fantastic story as well as fantastic characters, and while they may be cliche at some parts of the game, it really doesn't hurt the experience as you might think. The characters are just very well done, despite the fact that they fall into those same cliches. And the story was just really entertaining, and I gotta say the characters were very, very well done. Some of them are really fun to be with, and these are probably some of the best party members I've ever had in like any RPG. I mean, these characters were just very well done. They had great personalities. You just want to be with them more often. Again, just really well done in the story/character department. In the end, the game gave me this sense of nostalgia while at the same time trying to do something very unique. And I gotta say, the game is not really for everyone. I know some people really didn't get into the combat, but if this game does sound interesting, I do highly recommend that you at least try this game out.
For certain needs from time to time.
Seren.
But don't you worry. When you feel the urge, this is the place to sort yourself out. I know, everyone's embarrassed their first time, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be back for more.
I really don't think...
Oh, don't be such a scaredy cat. You'll never get any better if you don't practice. Go on, be a man and get stuck in. Here at the arena!
Arena?
Yeah! Nothing like a good old fight. Why? What did you think it was?
And I gotta thank you guys again for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It really does mean a lot, and I will try to do as many videos as I can. And as always guys, I'm reobebo, and peace out.